switch the I and the D, so it should be Aldo Vandia. I'll correct that in a moment. This one's really interesting. It's very pale. It's very different from the halosaurs that we saw in the Hawaiian Islands, so I think it's a different species. There are more species over in the Western Pacific than we have in Hawaii, so we'll have to do some research. But these images are really wonderful. And we'll have to send these to Ken Sulak in Florida, who's an expert on this group, and he'll be able to give us an identification of this almost immediately, I'm sure.
Yeah, pilot, you drifted out of my port, so if you can come starboard and center up when you're done with the fish, that would be excellent.
He was very highly reflective. He really reflected the light back.
You turned your heading, Sean?
I did slightly. You were really drifting, but you were fully zoomed in on the fish, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just give me I mean, it's fine. You don't have to, but a heads up that you're rotating to follow me, sort of is an indication of like where I'm heading.
Okay.
But it's not necessary. It's just one of those little.
Yeah, no, if that's what you prefer.
No, it's one of those little like tools Copilot can use to sort of like subtly drive the pilot back onto screen.
I understand.
All right, so we're
like,
continuing
turning
move
to
along
follow
a
you,
little
pilot.
bit.
It's like, oh, okay.
If you look in the Sirius feed, you can really see that it's kind of a sedimented plain with isolated
like
rock
a ship
outcrops.
move.
Can we zoom in on whatever this is
meters,
flapping around?
335
Come on,
at
quick,
0.2 knots.
Yeah, pilot.
Oh, polychaete. Okay. Yep. I mean, no, they're beautiful. So this is likely an acrocerid polychaete. And we've seen quite a couple of them on our previous dives. They're the sort of characteristic ones that swim around. And it's actually earned some of one genus in the family is called swimmer.
Copy that.
I'm not sure if that's why, but it's particularly fitting.
You gotta let him go. I gotta push ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sean's at 90.
we're in the middle of that 30-meter move, and I just added a 40.
So I gotta push ahead.
Yeah. It looks fairly flat ahead.
Yeah, there's really nothing on Sirius.
Let's see. Yeah, Sirius is about 70 meters from the first tight contours.
Pilot, there's
but we
a
are going
straight line to
40
the
and
left.
30 now.
Zoom.
There's more of one on the left edge of your
zoom.
image.
I just want to see if this is a line. Yeah, it looks like a broken stem.
So yeah, I think this is just a dead spinner stalk again.
Okay.
It's interesting that most
sponge must have been pretty tall before it broke off.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's interesting among these little isolated outcrops, most of the talus that we're seeing is actually fairly small.
Let's do a quick zoom on the crinoid. I think we've seen this.
Okay, so we've got one of those crinoids that looks like the one that we collected from Sirena Canyon, I think it was. Definitely a Comatulate. Ooh, yeah, can we zoom more?
Yep, come out a little bit, Roland.
Partial.
Coming down.
So perhaps this is from the family Antidonidae. And it did look like it was lunching on something.
Okay, come on in.
This has only got 5 arms. So I wonder if it could be Pentametrocrinus. I'm going to try to look that up right now.
I'm pretty stable if you have any more.
That's maximum zoom.
Yeah, Chris, looking through the OER guide, those do have 5 arms, but how distinguishing is the color?
Do we have any more? Can we get a little closer? I mean, is that a growth on that bottom arm?
Yeah, the color is very different. I just don't know if that's important for designating the genus, though. But the 5 arms, I think, is pretty crucial. That may be too few for Antodon, but I'm not sure.
No, I think you're right. Lower left arm. I don't see what you mean, Roland. Yep, still not with you.
Pilots, can we maybe put
I
down
think
another meter?
We're pretty close to it.
Yeah, I can't see it, yeah.
Okay. Copy.
Yeah, pilot, I have you at 70 in my cam, so.
All right, we're in the middle of a 70-meter move, bearing 335.
Copy.
I bet Cirrus is about halfway done it.
So, Sean, make sure you keep a close eye on the sonar here as we do these longer moves. I mean, I'm going to do it also, but just in case some ledge pops up in the distance.
Yeah. So it looks like there's another sponge coming up again.
Come on in, video.
That one's really pretty.
It is really pretty. I mean, I think it's maybe the same thing that we saw again, the Hyalinema. We can't quite confirm that until we...
If he was able to get a side view, he might actually...
Yeah, the shot of the back.
Attachments.
Is that... I mean, it's not... Pilot, if that is easy, then...
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's go for it.
Go around this rock anyway to continue on.
So pilot, it's not a wall at all, but there's a pretty big nose of rock about 25 meters out that might have some interesting stuff on it.
On the sonar or on the...
Yeah. I zoomed out your sonar.
Okay.
So, right out here, there's a big rock. I saw it start to appear at the very edge, so I zoomed out one.
Yeah, pilot, and I'm getting on top of you, so just make this brief, please.
All right, come on in, video.
So, Bob or Patty or any of the other geologists on the line,
I'm not gonna, I'm just going to
is
pass
this what
by
you
Roland.
expected to see when we started our transect?
Ooh, it looks like it's got a close fit.
I can tell from the side scan of this feature, this caldera area, that it's...
Josh, we need to... yeah, you can... Sorry, Patty, I'm just going to cut you off for a second. So you can see the spicules attaching the sponge to the rock. Just, yeah, just the edge of them. And so Chris is very correct in thinking this is one of the same Hyalinemas we've seen 2 of already. Sorry, Patty, continue.
No problem. I'm fascinated by this feature the sponge is attached to because it almost looks as if the stuff on top came out and breaks a more jointed material below it. Mm-hmm. If I were on the big island of Hawaii and walked up to something like that, I'd say, wow, that's a tree mold. But, of course, that's not what it is here.
Yeah, it's probably not a tree mold here.
To answer your question, I did expect to see kind of a lot of sediment in this caldera. What I was hoping was that because the northern edge of the caldera, the shallowest part, appears to have prominence.
There's a little drop off.
Oh, that's what made the nose appear, because there's nothing in front of it.
Later volcanism that took place in this volcano and is superimposed on older outcrops. So I guess we'll have to wait for the rocks to come back to find out exactly what's going on.
Great. Thank you, Patty. I know.
Is it possible to zoom on the whip coral just in the right-hand corner?
Roger.
Please? Thanks.
Flat faulted.
Do you want to get that, Pilot? Oh, you got it.
Can you raise my port swing arm a little bit? All right, come on in, video.
Raising port swing arm.
All right, come on in, video.
Pushing in. They're going to want to look at that branch.
So this looks like the isidid that we saw previously, which Chris may have thought was a lepidisis because of the scales in between.
Something in...
Yeah, there's a little sort of commensal.
There's spines.
Spines, sorry, not scales.
I don't know how many different groups have got those really elongate spines between the tentacles.
Just 1 or 2 minutes here, please.
Too bad Les isn't here. He'll probably be coming a little later this afternoon.
Okay, great.
But you see those little white spines between the tentacles on
Oh, yeah. You can see them really well on the third polyp down. Chris, do you have any inclination about what we want to collect today? I guess we'll wait and see, but...
Yeah, let's wait and see if we can find some really big fish to collect.
Eva, can you tell us what the sort of pink colored thing is below one of the polyps, right?
We need to, I see what you mean, Patty, but we need to, can we zoom any more, pilots?
That's maximum zoom?
No, I mean, it's obviously some kind of commensal animal, but I don't think I can see it well enough to give you an idea. It could be, for instance, a polychaete, but I just don't have enough of a good shot on it right now.
In order to get that, we'd have to go around the backhand side.
Scale worm?
Yeah, exactly.
Right on top of you now.
So yeah, a polynoid polychaete.
Pulling out.
But it's just, yeah, we weren't quite close enough for that one.
Right.
And could we zoom along to the sponge and crinoid behind?
Yes, here should be slowing to a stop now.
Great.
And we have the real hill ahead of us now. So we can line up on that next once you're out ahead.
Yeah, that looks more like 3, 4, 5 now.
Yeah, which is...
Are you still moving, Sean?
I think Nav said I should be coming to a stop, but I am moving a little bit.
Yeah,
just do a quick zoom on this stem.
You should be safe here.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'm going to overtake you at all. So yeah, if you want to zoom in.
So here we've got a stalked sponge, and I think 2 different crinoids that are potentially different types living on that stalked sponge. Both the crinoids are camachlids, which means that they have no stalk.
Boy, these guys have really long arms compared to their disc. At least that bottom one does.
What are you thinking? Chiridometridae or Thalassometridae for the bottom one, Chris?
I don't think it has enough arms. But
to be either of those?
The number of arms for Thalassometridae is But you see this cirri where it's attaching to the coral, it's prehensile cirri. It
Yeah.
can happen around the branch, which is characteristic of the Thalassometridae. I think it's also characteristic of the Antedonidae, too.
Alright, let's pull out here a video.
Pull wide.
Okay, so you guys should be able to line up with the slope and Sirius. That should be about 345.
Yeah, pilot, when you start pulling up, I'll turn starboard a little bit to center up sonar.
Looks like our outcrops are getting closer together, bigger, and our sediment is getting more pockety. It's really hanging out in the local lows around the outcrops.
Oh, look at that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good jointing.
Yeah, they really do. So you can see almost cross-hatching in terms of you can see both, fractures that are perpendicular to each other.
Looks like
Definitely a lot
there's
of
a fish or
surface,
something immediately above your
pattern on
lasers.
these particular rocks.
Just went past
Quick
it.
zoom.
Holothurian.
Okay, our first Holothurian. So I've been told before that Holothurians with this coloration are juveniles, but maybe not. But you can definitely see it's been having a good old feed. You can see his really, really full gut inside of him. For instance, if we tried to collect him, what happened the other day would pretty much happen again.
It's so weird that you can just see directly into these creatures.
It's awesome.
Know what's going on with their internal organs.
Because it has the sort of protrusions on the outside of it, it might be in the family Synallactidae. So, Chris, I was thinking Hansenothuria as well. It's not nasty, it's beautiful.
You still pushing in slightly, pilot?
Yeah, I lost my toe.
Yep, so you're following focus.
Seeing some ropey lava today, seeing some ropey poop today, What's the difference?
Yeah, Nav, it might be almost due north on Sirius sonar.
Pulling for full specimen.
Yeah, you're at 350.
Okay, when you're ready.
So I think the velum around that you can see on the bottom of it indicates that it also swims, probably.
360 though. So when I bob that way, it looks about center.
I see. Yeah, you're right.
A few more seconds.
Okay.
It's a shame we can't see more of the head, the red section. Full wide.
Now that's better. Look at that beautiful rock.
Yeah, the striations you see on the surface of this rock suggest that, if it's similar at all to flows on Kilauea, that it expanded in multiple directions, causing superimposition of cracks on one another.
So I think these are dikes.
Co-pilot, permission to push tight to
You think these are what, Bob?
camera?
Briefly, yeah, that's fine.
Intrusive rock.
Command in video.
Oh, dikes. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just couldn't understand you.
They could be closed, they could be dikes. I'm seeing more dikes than closed right now.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, sorry, I just couldn't understand you. Wow, do you think that we ought to try to get a rock in this area?
I don't see anything loose.
Hey, come on out.
So that looks like a stylasterid coral again.
Adjacent to these larger blocks might be accessible.
ROV's full wide.
At any point where...
Hey, Bob, do you have your do you have the audio on your computer on as well as the telecon? If so, you may want to mute the audio on the computer.
Do you have your
The only thing I've got on right now is Skype. I don't know of anything else that's open.
you may want to mute?
Bob, when you speak, you're going to need to mute your other audio because we're getting a several second delay feedback.
What am I talking to? The only thing I've got open about sound is Skype.
It's possible. Okay, Bob, I'm talking to you now, so if you can go ahead and open your mic and talk at the same time I'm talking. Just want to see if the feedback is really coming from yours or if it's just coincidental. Someone else may have had their microphone open also.
All right, I am muting and unmuting Skype, letting it have it unmuted, and then as soon as I stop saying this, I'm going to mute it.
Yeah, so when you opened your mic, I heard my own voice coming back to me delayed.
So tell me what else I need. Those are definitely dikes. So tell me what else I need to turn off. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a volume level that's coming out of your computer.
Or Bob, maybe if you have headphones, that might work.
Headphones would definitely be a superior.
I'm sorry, say again?
Okay, Cirrus camera's
If you
about
had
45 degrees, ready for that
it would be
move.
superior to using
Yeah,
the
stand by
speakers.
one.
It sounds like it's coming out
Sean,
of the speakers and
would you
then
like
coming
to
back
fly
into
for a
the
bit?
microphone.
Sure.
And that wouldn't happen if you had headsets on.
Be a good spot to switch.
Okay, I'll put on headphones. Just a second.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Bob. So while we were trying to resolve some audio issues, we passed over some really nice rocks. Still somewhat sedimented. We saw some really nice structures and really nice patterns on the rocks just below where we were right now.
We are coming off the bottom in 4 hours at 5 o'clock UTC.
Great, thanks, Carl.
What we saw down below were dikes because
Yeah, you're off to my starboard here.
surfaces
Sorry.
exposed on dikes,
This little
and
mic
the
knocked out on me.
the joints were perpendicular to the surface. What I would expect
TriLab, co-pilot.
in an exposed dike on the surface is that you would have joints that are
Do you mind swapping in for a second here?
horizontal,
Yeah.
intersect.
Before you swap out, pilot and co-pilot, you ready for that 30-meter move? D2 is nicely out in front.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's steeper now, but it should be okay.
Yeah, we'll space them out a bit more.
Okay, I have my headphones
Bridge
on
nav.
now, and
I'd like to request a ship move 30 meters, bearing 360 degrees, due north
Can we see the white
at
thing?
0.2 knots.
Can we zoom into that white thing just about to go off the right side of the screen, please, when you have a chance?
Good copy, Bridge.
Washley, I'm sorry, did you say white thing?
Yeah, sorry, it just went off the right side of the screen. Yes, exactly that.
Copy that, Bridge.
Nav Copilot, what's the heading on that?
So if you're just joining us, we are at 2,945 meters in Finanagu Caldera D. We have 4 hours left in this dive on the seafloor. And on this dive, we're going to be looking for interesting geology, as well as trying to document what kind of biological communities we're seeing, whether they're very old, so for instance, old sponges and corals, or whether, I don't know, who knows, we might come across sort of a hydrothermal vent community, because we think that this area or around here may be active in some shape or form. So what we have on the screen right now is a munidopsid lobster, spot lobster. And we've seen a couple of these on our previous dives. They're pretty ubiquitous in our world's deep oceans.
Nav Copilot.
Well, he has a ginormous rostral spine.
Current coming from the west.
I'm sure we can get an idea off of this.
Yeah, I don't think it's affecting me too much.
See the top of his head. Do you agree with that? It's like the tether's like stretched out. It's pointed out to the east, and
yeah, I can see that.
I feel like it's kind of pulling me.
Yeah, he popped out ahead a bit, so you'll catch up to him in a minute.
Okay.
And that should put some slack in the tether. But yeah, I hadn't noticed that it was being dragged out that way. Bringing your heading around.
Pulling out. Yeah, you can see it's going almost straight to the east.
See, we can see the particles in his view, though. Down on the bottom, it looks like almost no current.
Oh, gotcha.
So they're just sitting still.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's just distance then. But my angle is 37 degrees, so I mean, it doesn't seem like he's that far out in front.
Say that again, video?
Can we snap zoom upper right of lasers? So I was just curious. White, maybe a mini coral.
Gotcha. I think I see it.
At least show it to science, see if they're interested.
Is this what you're talking about, video?
Yep.
All right. You want to come in a little?
Your audio is exceptionally low, pilot, compared to everyone else.
Yeah, sorry about that, video. I went to adjust.
So this looks like another one of the stylasterid corals, which we've seen 2 of already for this dive.
I'll try to speak up a little more. Actually, video, can you come out real quick? I see the recenter. Thank you, video. When I hit centered, yeah.
Science, is that enough of that, or do you need more?
Pardon?
Just asking if you need more.
Oh, no, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Pulling out.
Copy that. Alright, Copilot, I'm going to lateral port to get the center view of you.
So geologists, feel free to shout out when you think you might want to take another rock sample. Remember that we are limited to 2 or perhaps 3, so you want to make sure that you're spacing them out to best hit the objectives of your dive. And we've already collected one.
You have a few minutes to sidle over, and then Sirius will start moving, but you're pretty stretched out, or nicely stretched out. So.
Well, Patty, we're looking at tailings, so I think we're going to have to wait a little while.
Agreed. I just want you to be thinking ahead.
Well, this is Bob. It's not coming from very far up the slope, so anytime you see a rock, pick it up.
Yeah, we're going due north.
Copy that.
Diva, our biologist, said, feel like we'd have a lot of rocks if we just picked one up every time we saw one.
You can never have too many rocks.
I agree, Bob. Although we are limited as an exploration vehicle, we are limited generally to 2 to 3 rock samples and 2 to 3 biology samples. So it's something for all of us to keep in mind when we're thinking about sampling.
And at least for the biology samples, they need to be something that we think may be novel or is sort of characteristic of the species assemblage, which we've seen on that dive.
Or a range extension?
Or a range. It has to be something possibly remarkable or that describes the area where we got it from.
Obviously, we don't use quite the same criteria for our rocks. But we do want to pick up rocks that are representative of the area so that we can find out more about the history of these particular sites.
And we do try to stick to 2 geology and 2 biology samples per dive, and we only tend to take 3 if it's really unusual circumstances, where perhaps, as I said before, it's something remarkable or something we just have to sample for our scientists to show.
Ashley, is there any interest in the center item?
So we can zoom in. We can just snap zoom on it, but I think it may be the same stylasterid coral. So we've been seeing quite a couple of this dive.
Copy that. Video.
This geology is really interesting, though.
Snapping Kai.
So Bob and Patty, are we looking at a dike north? When we pull out again?
Yeah, that's what I was just. Yep, I think this feature definitely is a dike.
So pilots.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you pull back out, what you can see in that top center part, see how it's sort of narrow and tall?
Yes.
So we think we might be looking at a dike feature here.
Okay, I'll get closer.
I agree.
Oh, good. We got agreement among all the geologists. It's great. So dikes are formed intrusively. They're not an extrusive feature. So it means that things have sort of eroded away around them.
Swimming polychaete.
Pilot's ready for another move. D2 looks nicely out ahead.
Yeah.
The ship stopped a couple minutes ago. All right, we'll do another 30.
Washleads, is this something you'd like to zoom in on? Or are you just appreciating the feature?
Bridge nav.
Bob wanted a dike rock. This would certainly be the place to try to grab one. What do you think, Bob? Do you want to wait until we get up to the top?
Well, it's just a matter of where they can pick up a sample. I think it's going to be hard to pick it off of this outcrop.
Bridge nav.
Looks like there's a lot of loose stuff at the base of this.
We are ready for another move.
Part of the
30 meters, bearing 360 degrees at 0.2 knots.
So do we want to ask the pilots if they might be able to grab a rock here? I'm not sure if I'm hearing consensus or not.
Yes.
Yes?
Actually, Bridge, stand by on that move. We might be taking a sample.
Washleads, did I hear interest for a rock sample?
Oh, I can't hear that. So, pilot, did you hear that?
Rock sample interest?
I'm sorry?
Washleads.
Yes.
Interest for a rock sample?
Yeah, we would be interested in a rock sample if possible.
Okay. If you see anything that catches your attention, let me know, and I'll just kind of poke around.
Okay.
If the pilot is able to pick something up close to the base of this protruding section of dike, that would be great. Looks like there's more over on the right-hand side. On the right side of the dike.
You're going to want to stop the
ship.
So,
pilot, can you pan right a little bit?
Yes, panning right.
The ship hasn't stopped for more than 5 minutes.
I thought you just called in a move.
No.
No? I sound like I'm moving.
So we'd like to try to pick up a rock that's near
this. The last
this.
move was 9 minutes ago.
The dike?
So if possible, we'd like to pick up a rock that's close to that dike feature, which is the thing that's sort of rolling off on the left right now.
I started to call a move and then halfway through stopped it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sean, you can try to poke stuff with your toe.
Do you agree with me? It looks like the upslope part of it is maybe fractured through, and there's, it's hard to describe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like the shallower part of this feature has broken, and the deeper part has
Yeah, I like that.
been
That
moved
one on
off
the left.
to the right a little
Yeah, we'll
bit
try to
relative
bump it.
to the shallow part.
Yeah, Copilot, you might swing for another minute or so.
Okay.
But I'm surprised you're still swinging, actually.
Do we want to zoom out a little bit so we can get a better view of this, people?
Oh, sorry, watch leads. I'm just gonna poke
Oh
this
yeah,
rock
no.
to see if it
Sorry, I was
says-
talking to the geologist.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that one's this. Wash leads. This rock that the lasers are just on. That one is loose. I just bumped it. Sorry. Come up.
The one above the
I
lasers?
want to make a
Yes.
comment
Right
about
above.
how this thing gets exposed. I don't think it's erosion. I think what we're seeing is the effects,
right
the
there.
results of the caldera collapse that exposed the wall.
Thank you, Bob. That's helpful. Absolutely, Bob. I agree. And there's just been a lot of mass wasting, and they're more resistant than any flows that might be in the vicinity of them, so they tend to stand out proud of the surface.
That's the explanation for our dikes.
Wash leads. Is this rock? Would you be interested in this at all?
Geologists, do we like this rock that the lasers are on right now? Well, the lasers are below right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The geologists are excited about this particular rock.
All right. I'll set up.
Oh, Patty, you're right. I was just looking at some of the replayed video from a couple of minutes ago, and it does look like the dike is sort of a little bit offset in the bottom, or it's a little bit further down than it is at the top.
Hydraulics are up.
All right, thank you, co-pilot. So try to get in a good spot.
Oh, you had too much
Too much.
lateral. You should only need forward and down.
Just forward and down?
There's no current here, unless it's changed.
All right, let's try.
And you don't need much. The more down you put, the more forward you have to put. So it's sort of a feedback. So you don't need a ton.
Okay. Let's try this.
And you can use auto heading if you feel like one of your toes is going to come off.
Yeah, auto head helps if it's unequal.
How does it? Can I put it auto editing?
Yeah, you can do it now. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Looks like you're good.
It'll just give little bursts to these ones to keep your heading straight, but it doesn't affect anything
Should
else.
be.
So.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right, and I think so. We have one rock in the starboard.
Yep, so we're going to want to put it in port. So you're going to, I'll bring that wing out. And
yeah, I'll go for the lid.
let me know if you want cameras adjusted.
Yes, copy that, co-pilot. Arm coming on.
All right, so we've set up. We're looking for our second rock sample. We're all very excited about this particular rock sample.
So you got to open the box
it looks like it may have come off a dike.
Unless you want to double check that it's loose.
They're going to poke around for some more of these rocks, see if we can find one that we want to take home.
Yeah.
Oops. This one looks good.
Let's hope they can get it. I think we all like it. And for those of you watching, whether science or public, you know, these ROV pilots make it look really easy to pick up a rock. They just sort of wander in, they touch it, they prod it, they pick it up, and it's great. And the amount of skill that's required to do this is really unbelievable. So they're opening up the port rock box right now. I'm going to pop the lid. Maybe.
Our ROV pilots drive the ROV by day and play video games by night. So it's probably like, you know, keeping the skills training going.
Keeping the skill set up.
Let's go check my grip force.
You want something relatively high?
It said it's 6.
6 is fine, or you could go higher. You just want to squeeze it enough.
Yeah.
Because they want to know if it's soft or not.
Okay. I'll go 7. That's good. There's your cup out.
Oh, you're losing your toe.
Yeah. So we'll give it a second.
You look like you're good. Yeah, make sure you're looking at multiple cameras here, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to hold it up to the... I'm going to take your main Zeus. You want to hold it up.
All right, let's wait for this dust to settle and take some glamour shots of the rock. And even though I make a joke that we're taking beauty shots, it's really so that we can identify them in case we put another rock in the same box. That one looks a little crusty.
Want to zoom?
Yeah, video. You can do easy, please. Okay, Copilot, you're going to come up slightly. Good lighting, too.
It's going to do focus.
I don't think we need quite that much of a close-up.
Just to get my focus perfect. I want you guys to make sure your glasses are on straight.
Well, this looks great. We're getting biology as well.
Is there biology on this one?
Videos are ready for a rotate.
We think it might be flocculent.
Did you copy that, Sean?
Yep, video's ready for rotate.
That's a minute, and you can get another rock.
Oh.
Do you want to keep rotating video?
Yeah, typically we'd get a full 360 unless
So,
we had
geologists, we
fears
still
of
happy?
dropping.
Yep. Yeah, keep going. Just curious.
Rolling around.
Well, I'm happy. If no one will respond to me.
Bob's happy.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
All right, watch it. So I'm going to put it in the box now.
All right, great.
It sounded like you're good.
Could you zoom out on it just one more time? Perfect.
All right.
Full wide.
Take the video. Hey, Copilot. The craft is really fighting me right now.
That's because you're indexed.
There's only two.
Don't fight it. Stop fighting it.
Just let it go?
Yeah, let it go. That's what happens when you hold down the index.
Yeah.
So index in, index out. Index in, index out.
Oh, right now.
Yep. Oh, and out.
Out.
And now you can reset. If you hold down the index button, the Mini-Master copies the position the arm is in.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Okay.
And then you just have to relax. Most people is too strong and it moves where it wants to, but you're an exception.
Sorry about that.
All right, so right above the box. They're just going to pop that little guy down in there. Thank you, pilots.
Close the lid and we're good. All right, clear. Port wing coming outboard.
Copy that.
Clear to stow. Wrist up a little bit. No, up. Not elbow, wrist. There you go. Now you can stow. All right, you're good.
All right. Craft coming off.
Yep.
Nice job, pilot.
Thank you. All right, so ship is stopped and right.
Yep, ship is stopped. He's looking down on you.
Yeah.
So
Can you push ahead?
if you make your way north, we can call in another move in a couple minutes.
Copy that. coming up and pushing forward.
So we are really having just a fantastic geology dive. There's a lot to look at as we move along this ridge.
Thank you, co-pilot.
Hopefully, as we move closer to the top of this ridge, we'll see more biology as well.
Co-pilot, once I push ahead, now that I got some time, do you want to switch back?
No.
Okay.
You got it the rest of the shift.
Okay. So make sure I don't take your glory time.
So actually looking at Sirius sonar, it looks like the best uphill now is maybe 15 degrees to starboard.
Now let me bring my heading that way, see what it looks like. Yeah, 15, 20 degrees.
So we're slowly moving up slope. We're looking at pretty heavily
So like
sedimented.
0.25. Yeah, looks good.
Mostly tailless. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
some of these bigger guys might be
0.30 right now.
Certainly what's coming up now.
0.25, somewhere around there.
Okay.
You can really see these angular features on the rocks.
Okay, I can call that in. It'll take 5 minutes to get going.
Yeah, I agree, Dad. Patty,
Bridge
and
nav.
if you look in the series,
What's that white
We have a ship move 30 meters, bearing 0.25 degrees at 0.2 knots.
larger
Yep.
areas of
Just to see what it is. Snap.
impact rock,
Exactly.
and I'll bet that most of its tails is coming from
It's
them.
like another one of those little white corals.
Makes sense, right? Rolls downhill.
Yeah, I believe it.
Good copy, Bridge.
So this looks like one of the stylasterid corals, which we've seen quite a couple of so far.
Okay. It's good. Pulling out.
This is great. So this is our first dive at the Finanagu Caldera Complex. We will hopefully be visiting it 2 more times. We should be going to Finanagu C tomorrow, and Finanagu A, the one we're expecting that may be hydrothermally active, 2 days from now. And so it'll be really interesting to see whether the geology that we're seeing on this type of dive is similar to the next 2 dives we have scheduled.
And so the 2 next sites, as well as this one, are all calderas, and they progress northward. And so there's a hypothesis that perhaps they get younger as they move northwards. So as Deb was saying, it'll be really interesting to see how the geology and how the communities change as a result of that age progression, and if they do at all.
Hey Nav, how long have we been in the ship move for?
I made the ship move 4 minutes ago. Sirius should start moving in about 1 minute, based on what I've observed.
Copy that. Thank you.
So a question for our scientists out there, or possibly our listening public. Does anyone know what Finanagu means? A question from Diva.
Patty named it.
Patty, do you care to enlighten us?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
What does Finanagu translate into? What does it mean?
I'll have to look it up. Actually, the name was suggested by school children in Guam who had won a marine trivia contest. Over the past 30 years or so, I've been working with Linda Tatro, a high school teacher in Guam, who puts together this yearly contest for students in Guam and the CNMI to compete to win a contest answering questions about marine science. And one of the prizes for the group that wins is the opportunity to name some seafloor features. And so many of the names that we've been using in publications and so forth have come from the kids. And the hope is that they will enjoy, a better sense of ownership of the wonderful and amazing geology of the area that they live in. So I'll go see if I can find that email on Finanagu and let you guys know.
Thanks, Patty. We certainly would like to know what some of the names of these mean. It's always interesting, and it's great to hear that it was a way to engage kids in understanding the features around them. So we're continuing to move upslope. Notice that the outcrops have gotten bigger and more continuous. We have less sediment than we did before.
Looks like we're back off to the port again.
Copy that. I'll come.
No. I mean, I'm talking to Nav.
Yeah, that's just a local.
Do we care to take a guess on what kind of flows these are?
Yeah, if you want to make your heading, you should be you should be about partway through your move there. It's probably safe to make your heading with the terrain.
They sure look like sheep flows to
we
me.
can decide on the next move.
How long was the move?
Well,
30 meters.
30? Okay, yeah, we're pretty much done with that.
There's quite a wide range from basalt to almost dacite. So if these are more felsic, then they're going to be more fragmental anyway. But definitely this is a submarine, very deep submarine eruption. That's about all I can say right now. Oh, nice clip.
See,